Have you ever asked yourself the questions, what is really going on in the world? Why is everyone broke and struggling? Why nothing ever changes? Hi, I'm Dr. Ryan Cotton, and I'm a pharmacist, and I'm done being a passive observer. I feel a strong urgency to take action now, and I can't stand aside and watch our country and our culture destabilize and implode. I've dedicated my life to service with a mission to enable everyone to live healthier, more fulfilling lives. This mission has led me through a rigorous intellectual journey for a deeper understanding of many disciplines. I've identified several ominous trends that deeply concern me. Now, where do I even start? There appear to be 4 domains at the core of many problems today: politics, propaganda, money, and war. Corruption, administrations, and institutions, and massive concentration of wealth seem to be at the center of many of these problems. These domains form an interconnected nexus of phenomena, which I will go into next. Let's start with politics. Today, clearly, we have too much money in politics. It's a one-party system, the money party. If we look at the primaries and the elections, they are completely rigged. Bernie in 2016. Look at Mike Gravel this year, 2020. And now Tulsi Gabbard being kicked out of debates. How do they choose who gets to go on that debate stage? Which candidates are accepting PAC money from corporations? Have you noticed how biased the election coverage is? There's a major problem with our mainstream media and social media and censorship. Let's talk about the traditional mainstream media. We have Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, NBC, New York Times. All of these organizations have traditionally been known for distorting the facts, misleading the public, lying us into wars.
They took the babies out of the incubators. Took the incubators and left the children to die on the cold floor.
Most of these news channels were in the old traditional TV media or radio or news, print. Today, millennials and Gen Zers, we're looking at social media to get most of our information. So that includes YouTube, Google, Twitter, Facebook. A lot of content creators are funded through Patreon. What's wrong here is that these social media companies are public utilities, and they're taking advantage of the public. Not only have they robbed an entire generation of our personal data and profited and marketed it off to other companies, they censor free speech. Look at Alex Jones, Milo, Soph, Steven Crowder, Sargon of Akkad. There seems to be correlations between censorship, the social justice warrior movement, tribalism, political correctness, call-out culture, identity politics, cultural Marxism, and postmodernism. These seem to be connected. The mainstream media and social media create what I see as the modern opium of the masses, or blue pill. Traditionally, this phrase comes from Marx and his characterization of religion. However, I see the same concept emerging from TV, from our iPhones, from all the apps that people use, the way some people use video games, the way some people use Hollywood, Netflix, Disney, the way some people listen to pop music. A lot of this is a distraction from reality. And it really is the attention economy. These companies are profiting off of our time. This isn't the first time we've seen censorship. A more extreme version of this occurred during the Cold War with state censorship, McCarthyism, the Red Scare. Remember Reefer Madness? There was a massive campaign to censor both socialist ideas and psychedelic drugs. The war on drugs needs to end. We have a major problem with institutional corruption, misinformation through education, and industry-funded science, misleading statistics. Let's consider macroeconomics, central banking, the Federal Reserve, and monetary policy. The Federal Reserve has been printing money to infinity. The dollar is weakening. There's an impending crash coming in 2020. We have a fiat currency system that is failing, and the dollar is weakening. There's an emergence of cryptocurrency, and when the market does crash, we won't have the same economy to fall back on. With the passing of trade agreements, we've seen a deindustrialization of the West through NAFTA and the attempted TPP. Additionally, advances in the technology sector, including AI and automation, will compound this problem. The pharmaceutical industry publishes bad scientific studies to promote their drugs so they get approved. And then we have guidelines based on those studies that tell doctors to prescribe them. And these same companies work with insurance companies to lobby against real healthcare reform, like a universal or single-payer Medicare for all system that pays for performance instead of paying for utilization. The same institutional corruption is present in our educational system. We use a one-size-fits-all approach, standardized testing. We've created a prison pipeline in a country with private prisons, with bad laws and a corrupt justice system that continue to populate these prisons. Not to mention the continued war on drugs that continues to put non-violent drug offenders in jail. And now let's look at the wars. A lot of these problems started with Richard Nixon when he made a deal with the Saudis, creating the petrodollar. Essentially, this backed the US dollar in oil. Saudi Arabia agreed to sell their oil for US dollars for US military protection. This explains why we've gone to war with any country that fundamentally opposes the petrodollar, including Iraq, Syria, and Iran. Additionally, our alliance with Israel is particularly unique. Our conflicts in the Middle East really are a Cold War 2.0. The Cold War was the war against communism, Russia, Venezuela, Cuba, China. During the Cold War, the state did everything they could to silence communists and socialists. And the United States has a long history of being an imperialist empire. The CIA and FBI and the military-industrial complex, Latin America, Southeast Asia, and now the Middle East. American democracy is a lie. It seems to me we are approaching a tipping point. Western culture and civilization is imploding, simultaneously with an impending 2020 global market recession. So this is my first video. I'm just trying to get my ideas out there and hopefully engage with some other people. I'm really committed and open to discussion, with the goal of coming closer to the truth. I love shattering old thinking paradigms and having my mind changed. I see this as an opportunity to learn, so if you see it different, enlighten me. Am I onto something? Am I way off base? Do you have an idea that I could add to the map? See something I should remove or change? Let me know in the comments below.